So when we talk about AI, you often hear these big, grand ideas, sci-fi stuff, or maybe really complex tech talk.
Mm-hmm. Future promises.
Exactly. But today, we want to look at how it's actually reshaping something really fundamental right now, school education.
Yeah, we're diving into a specific example, a real-world case of AI being used to, well, genuinely transform learning.
And it's about empowering teachers, and helping students, not in 10 years, but literally as we speak.
And the source we're digging into today is, I think, particularly interesting because it's so current.
Right.
It's a press release from a high school, Gimnasio XU. They're detailing how their teachers took part in this big European training initiative.
And when you say current.
I mean, really current. The training wrapped up July 6th, 2025, just days ago.
Wow. Okay, so this isn't theory. It's fresh off the press, practically.
Pretty much. It's like looking at a live blueprint for how this can work.
Okay, so our mission then for this deep dive is pretty clear. How is AI actually being used in the classroom, practically speaking?
To make learning more personal, more inclusive, more supportive.
Yeah, exactly. And importantly, what can you, listening to this, take away from an initiative like this? Maybe thinking about education's future or even your own learning.
Right. So this press release, it mentions 3 teachers from this school, Gimnasio XU.
And from different subject areas, right? Not just the tech teachers.
Correct. Different specialties. And they went to this seminar in Split, Croatia. It was called AI-Enhanced STEM Classes.
STEM, so science, technology, engineering, math. Makes sense.
And it wasn't just some small workshop. This was part of an approved Erasmus Plus program.
Ah, Erasmus plus STEM. So that's the big EU program for education, training, youth, sports. It covers a lot.
Exactly. It's got significant backing. This tells you it's not just a one-off experiment. It's plugged into a wider European strategy, a continent-wide nod to this kind of forward thinking.
Okay, so a serious initiative.
Very serious. And the training, it wasn't just about, what is AI. It drilled down into using specific AI tools and apps right there in their teaching.
Practical applications.
Exactly. And the main goal was really the learning process. There's improving the learning process, sure, but also boosting student well-being.
That's interesting. Not just tech for tech's sake.
No, it's technology in service of the student. That was the clear focus.
All right, so let's dig into that. How did the teachers benefit? Because usually if you want tech to work in schools, you've got to get the teachers on board and equipped first.
Absolutely. The source talks about personalized learning, which is, kind of the holy grail for educators.
But what does that mean in practice with AI?
Well, they were trained on tools that don't just, tweak the content slightly, they truly individualize it.
How?
These AI programs, they use machine learning. They look at a student's performance data.
Okay, like test scores?
More than that.
Yeah.
Not just if an answer is right or wrong, but how the student tackles problems, where they seem to get stuck, maybe common mistakes or misunderstandings they have.
Oh, okay. Deeper patterns.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And based on that dynamic picture, the AI can then suggest different ways to explain something, maybe offer specific practice exercises, or point towards other resources, all tailored to that student's particular learning style and speed.
That really is a shift from, one lesson plan fits all.
Totally.
And the press release specifically mentions inclusion, too, designing lessons for students with autism or dyslexia, other learning differences. How does AI help with that? That's often a huge challenge for teachers to manage manually.
Right. Well, AI can offer really sophisticated tools for assessing student progress, objectively, continuously.
Yeah.
Way beyond what one teacher can track in real time for, say, 30 kids.
So constant feedback loops.
Immediate, subtle feedback. And that allows for really targeted support. Think about what that does to traditional testing.
Yeah.
If AI can constantly gauge understanding, does the big high-stakes exam still play the same role? Maybe teachers can focus more on actual mentoring.
That's a really interesting point. Okay, so we see the teacher angle. Now let's pivot. The students, because ultimately, it's all for them.
Right.
The release talks about enhancing well-being, reducing academic anxiety. How does AI tackle those sort of emotional aspects of learning?
Well, a lot of that anxiety comes from feeling lost or overwhelmed.
Sure. Falling behind, not getting it.
Exactly. So if the AI tools help mold the learning experience to your pace, your style,
Yeah.
imagine hitting a tough concept. Instead of just getting more of the same confusing explanation, maybe this system offers you a video because you're a visual learner, or it breaks the problem down into tiny steps.
Ah, so the experience itself becomes less stressful because it feels manageable? Tailored?
Precisely. When it feels like the learning is adapting to you, that pressure, that anxiety naturally starts to decrease.
And then there's the 24/7 support aspect. The source mentions virtual assistants, chatbots, offering help whenever a student needs it. That feels like a game changer.
It really is. Think about it, no more being stuck on a homework problem late at night.
Yeah, waiting until the next day, maybe feeling embarrassed to ask.
Right. This gives students more autonomy, more confidence. They can get clarification or help right when the problem arises.
And these aren't just fancy FAQs, right?
No, no. They use advanced natural language processing, NLP, so they can understand pretty complex questions from students. Specific assignment problems, yeah, but also broader, I don't get this concept type queries.
So they provide instant, relevant help.
Context-aware assistance, exactly.
Hmm.
And what's really powerful here is how this also boosts inclusion and accessibility for all students. Regardless of learning differences, maybe physical disabilities, everyone gets access to this support.
So it levels the playing field, in a way.
It promotes participation, collaboration. It helps build a more equitable environment overall. It kind of changes the whole relationship with knowledge, making learning more continuous, less dependent on specific times or places, fewer barriers.
Okay, so let's pull back a bit, connect the dots. What does this all mean for the bigger picture of education? We've got these teachers from Greece, from Gymnasio Axiou, taking part in this EU-backed training.
It signals a real step towards modernizing how we teach and learn. It's not just about efficiency.
Right. We've seen the benefits stack up for teachers, getting tools to personalize and include, for students, getting tailored support, less anxiety, 204/7 help. It sounds like a fundamental shift.
It really is. And seeing this happen in a specific school supported by a program like Erasmus plus NUG, it gives us a tangible glimpse of AI's positive side, beyond the hype or the fear in the headlines.
Yeah, it's easy to get lost in the theoretical debates. This is about real students, real teachers right now.
Making education more accessible, more personal, and importantly, less stressful for the learner.
So recapping this deep dive,
Yeah.
this Gymnasio Axiou initiative really highlights AI's potential. It's enabling that super personalized learning
Offer that crucial round-the-clock support.
and making sure students with diverse needs aren't left behind, creating a more, well, modern, inclusive, and supportive school.
And the key thing really is that teacher training aspect. This isn't about just dropping tech into a classroom.
Right. You need the human element.
Absolutely. It has to be about training teachers, supporting them, having ongoing conversations about using these tools effectively, ethically.
Ethics, yeah. Bias in AI, privacy, those are huge.
Crucial conversations. Ensuring the tech serves all students fairly. It's an ongoing process, not a one-time fix.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. We've seen in this initiative how AI, when it's used thoughtfully, with that continuous teacher development, can personalize learning and even reduce student anxiety. So if that's possible, what new doors might that open? Could it allow students more space within the school system to really explore their unique talents, their passions? Could we shift focus maybe away from just rote memorization towards truly nurturing individual potential? What could that future look like?